And here we are, folks, in the 1969 Citroen DS 21 Pallas, and we are going to go for a drive. So for those of you who haven't driven a DS 21, you probably noticed I turned the key and then I moved the Citromatic transmission shift lever over to the left, and that's how you engage the starter. Choke, if you need it, is right down here, and that works just fine. This is your map lights on each of the B pillars. Here we have the fan for the front ventilation. Here we have the fan for the Canadian spec rear seat heater. Up here we have the clock that still keeps very good time. Speedometer, trip odometer, odometer, fuel gauge, temperature gauge, all working normally. Down over here we have the rear window defroster button, cigarette lighter that is pushed in and doesn't want to come out. We have a unused ashtray over here, a Blaupunkt AM/FM Frankfurt stereo over here. Oh, listen to that! It's even it only speaks in French. Oh well. Okay, and down here we have the heater controls, all operating normally. This one here is air quantity. This is floor or defrost. And down here, of course, we have temperature. Glove compartment over here. We have our visors right here, day-night mirror, and wipers over here. They work fine. I'm not going to show you because the windshield is dry. Turn signals over here. They don't self-cancel in these cars. They never did. And we have headlights, high beams, driving lamps here. Of course, this one being a Canadian spec DS 21 Pallas, it has height adjustable headlights, and it has turning driving lamps on the inside, all working as normal. So let's go for a drive here. Blind corner, but here we go. You probably heard that whoosh coming from the steering, perfectly normal. My wife calls it a wheeze. I prefer whoosh. Of course, for those of you who haven't ridden in a Citroen DS, the ride is like no other car. This is not a particularly smooth road, but we don't feel anything. We just float over the bumps. It's as if there weren't any. And that combined with the super cushy seats, beautiful thick foam, and very thickly backed foam in the rugs in the Pallas model gives an extremely luxurious feel. Here we're 55 miles an hour, just about 60. Quiet, calm, smooth. Braking power is very strong. I won't show you because I don't want to send the videographer through the windshield. And cornering is amazingly good with the Michelin tires and the hydropneumatic suspension system. It leans, but you know, it corners well on its door handles, as they say. Hangs in there. It handles, you know, in normal driving. Do you feel those brakes? Yeah. All right. to a complete stop before going into first. And here we go. There's that whoosh. This car being a 1969 and having the 2.175 cc four-cylinder engine, was sort of near the end of the when the top model had the 2.1, they went to the 2.3 a few years later, but 115 horsepower is the the most they got out of this engine, and it actually performs pretty well, especially once you're up to speed. You know, taking off from first gear and routine traffic tends to feel a little sluggish, but once you're in second and certainly moving down the road, it feels like it has, you know, good decent power. Out on the highway, these cars were rated to go 112 miles an hour, or about 175 kilometers. I've had it up to 90 miles an hour, don't tell your mother, and it's very solid at that speed. There's no wiggles or shakes or anything like that. So as you can see here, we are going 55 miles an hour in a 60 kilometer an hour speed limit. 60 kilometers, about 35. So we're going well over the speed limit through corners, and the car handles absolutely beautifully. Doesn't pull one way or the other. No vibration in the steering. Give you a little shot of the horn here. Dual air horns under the hood, working as they should. Guys, I think that should about do it. Give you a nice little taste of this 1,570 mile 1969 Citroen DS 21 Pallas. Thanks for tuning in.